And for our final video of the preaching class, again, when you come to the class, we'll go through these things more intently. We'll go through these things more specifically. These are just broad and generic videos for you to chew on and meditate on. But ask questions. Ask me how to do some of these things. These are videos aren't meant to be, just the end all be all. These videos are meant to be thought provoking and conversation starters for when we do meet. But the last video series is trusting the word and the spirit to do what it was designed to do. If I go to the pulpit, and I think it depends upon me primarily. Yes, it depends on the preacher. The preacher is vitally important. I'm not going to divorce these things and say the preacher doesn't matter, because if someone goes up and they're a terrible communicator, they're as dry as an old board, and they're stiff, yeah, of course it's going to be hard for that. And the Lord could use it, of course he can. But what I'm saying is, yes, the preacher and his message and what he's communicating and how he's communicating is important. But at the end of the day, trust the word, the powerful word, the double-edged sword, the sword of the Spirit. Trust that to do what it was designed to do. You preach faithfully. You seek to do all that you humanly possibly can for the sake of the sermon. But at the end of the day, you plead that the Lord, by his Spirit, would take the word that was preached and do with it as he wills. Theologians always say when the word is preached rightly, it's as if Christ himself were preaching that word. When the Spirit grabs a hold of that, this is how the church gains strength. This is how counseling happens. This is literally the health of a church is the health of the pulpit. So let's, as preachers, let's preach faithful to the text. Let's preach faithful to God's word. But at the end of the day, let's be faithful to the Spirit and trusting the Spirit. Let's be faithful by trusting the word to accomplish its end and knowing it will not return void. And that just frees you up as a preacher, because then you're not stressing out about what you have to do or how you have to do it, or did I say this or say right. Again, I'm not minimizing the task of the preacher. It's a weighty task, and the preacher should spend ample amount of time preparing the sermons and making sure that he's doing his part. But there's a freeness when you trust the word and you trust the Spirit to do what it was designed to do. That's the beauty of the Lord's Day worship. It can't be recreated. Yes, videos are good, and being able to watch videos of other preachers online is good, but there's something dynamic happening when the preacher is preaching and the Spirit is there enabling the preacher to preach. There's a dynamic element of live preaching that cannot be replicated. And when a preacher, staying faithful to the text, is engaging, is lively, is preaching Christ, preaching the gospel, and the Spirit is upon that man, the Spirit is giving that man unction, and the Spirit is applying the text, there's just something otherworldly about that. So trust the word and the Spirit to do what they were designed to do.